This is Death Stranding. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. This is a game that I never thought we would actually see on Xbox. It was a PlayStation exclusive, and yeah, just a bit of a shocker to actually see this arrive on the Xbox console. PlayStation has some level of publishing rights, and it looks like Kojima actually was able to buy his IP back from PlayStation, which I think is utterly fascinating and a complete and utter surprise. But a great one if you are a fan of Kojima games, if you're into Death Stranding and have always wanted to play on an Xbox. This is perfect for you, and you finally get to enjoy a high quality, visually impressive, performance impressive experience for the game. I mean, we did kind of suspect that something was up when we did see that this game arrived on PC with Xbox achievements, but I never thought it was going to go any further than that. I assumed it was just some sort of agreement where 505 got publishing for the PC version and was like, let's throw it on Xbox. Or, well, Windows, PC, right? But then, bam, out of nowhere, all of a sudden it is available and something that we can enjoy on Xbox, and the results are really, really quite excellent. This is a beautiful looking game. My stuff is getting damaged, which is kind of funny, but it's the opening sequence, so I don't care. But yeah, let's go in here, and then it's going to be a little bit of a sequence thing, and you can get an idea of like sort of the quality of the cutscenes. So this is something I have played. I played all of it ahead of launch, or kind of right around launch, when this first released on PlayStation 4 back in the day. This game is fascinating. I have really mixed opinions of it, so I'm going to give you technical details and my review of it. I'm personally not a fan of this game. I essentially said that it's, I would have rather had a more fulfilling time actually going and getting a job, working for like a career like FedEx or something, because it takes you a long time to play this game. Like, it is 30 plus hours, even if you grind your hardest and you work your hardest. Now, the game is a lot easier now, because the community of the world and the setup of the world has changed and has grown. It's a game that is about community. And like when I played it, there was no buildings, there was no foundations. That stuff's all there now, which makes it a lot easier to play and a lot faster to play. And you can kind of go about it however you want. So we're going to talk a bit about the technical stuff. We're going to talk a bit about what the game is like and how it is. And I think if you're really into Kojima type stuff, the weirdness, the creepiness, the unsettlingness of it, you're probably going to really like what this game has to offer. Seriously. Like, if you're into the usual Metal Gear stuff, you're into the gameplay stuff of other things, this game really is trippy, it's weird, it's bizarre, it's lengthy, it's emotional. It's got really cutting-edge visuals with the Decima engine, which I think this is the first time we've seen this on Xbox, actually. And, like, so much of this is impressive. She's beautiful. Léa Seydoux. And this is a game that is about life, it is about death, it is about rebirth to some degree, and you carry a whining baby around for a bazillion hours, which is rather riveting. I'm just going to go ahead and skip this and get into the gameplay a bit more. And the music for this game is stunning. I hope there's not going to be any like music claim issues, because I remember that being a thing back in the day. But yeah, there's sort of the connection between you and her as you go on this sort of journey, and she's not fragile.
I think they're gone.
And you're basically like postal
Grab you so hard.
service type workers,
Fears. A chiral allergy.
where you are trying to your goal here in this game is you are bridging America back together as this porter. That is your goal. And you'll do that by walking around bringing objects places. So you're probably wondering about the technical details, because I've been obviously talking and going over this a lot. So we've got two different settings. And what you've been seeing is the prioritized quality. So this is your 4K 60 FPS. I know, right? Looks beautiful, runs well, it's great. I think you're gonna have a great time just playing on quality. I don't think you need anything else. But if you must have performance, that's totally up to you. And this is a dynamic 4K 60 FPS. So immediately like a little bit softer, a little bit less is good, but still a genuinely beautiful looking game, and you can enjoy it in either mode. As I said, I do think that going with the quality mode is kind of a good go-to for this game, but really how you want to play it is up to you. If you want to make sure you're getting 60 FPS, it's like a walking sim with a lot of emotional stuff. It's not like you really need the performance level, but up to you again how you want to play it. We also have another graphic setting, which is the widescreen mode. So widescreen is sort of your cinematic, and this is supposed to be something that is a bit more like tighter. So it is like 4K, but it's got a lower, because it's like letterboxed, so it's, supposed to give you a bit more picture and stuff like that. But, I just kind of want to give you an idea of how that looks. This is another option for you. If you're into the style that is a bit more movie-like, I guess it is good that this is present, and then we'll show off the quality mode here, so you can see what that's like. You can see the beauty of it. And, I personally, when I play video games, I like to have, sort of a widescreen perspective. But if you don't want to do that, totally up to you, and the settings are available for you to enjoy either way. So we're going to play on quality mode, and we're going to play on full screen. But you can see how that changes how much of the picture you see. So if you were playing something like Star Wars Outlaws recently, you do get a lot more screen when doing that. Now, I also want to mention that there are game difficulties and stuff like that, which I don't even know if that was a thing back in the day. But that is something you can adjust to make the game easier. And then the shared content is essential for this game. Absolutely essential. So that you have bridges, you have built structures, you have the remnants of other societies so that you can actually go through and get your job done. Because as I said, when I played this game, it was grueling. There were no roads, there were no buildings, there were no setups. I had to walk endlessly in this game in order to basically survive and make it to where I needed to go. And it was an emotional pain. Because again, it is a walking simulator. I can't even turn off the music if I wanted to, which was kind of annoying too, because I'm hoping there's not any sort of copyright claim issues, but yeah, because you don't even have the option to change, turn off music or anything like that. It's just like literally baked in, which is kind of funny. And there's some HUD options. But yeah, that's kind of the key elements of this game from a technical standpoint. It's beautiful, it's brooding, it's emotional. However you want to go about it, the game is going to look really good, and it's going to run pretty well. And I will, again, I have issues here or there with, I guess you would say to some degree, the game, because the style of it I find kind of a little boring for me, but outside of my thoughts on it, technically this game is quite flawless. It's very genuinely impressive for its time, particularly. Like, I think this game holds up incredibly well, but like at the time too, this game had just genuinely mind-blowing like levels of visuals for like cinematics and art direction, everything like that. And Kojima sticks his name everywhere like 4,000 billion times because he's Kojima. That's what he does. And props to that. I will say the guy knows his business, knows his setup. Kojima does what Kojima does, right? That's his thing. And yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the story. So there are lengthy, and I mean lengthy cinematics. This game is incredibly emotional, very deep for emotion and trauma, and it's got a wide spread of characters that you have available to you. And as I said, this is the quote-unquote definitive version of the game. So this has all your DLC, this has all your content, all your extra stuff, everything you need in order to come and try to save the remnants of humanity. It's a time where death is more painful than you could ever imagine, because in death, you get destruction beyond belief, you get dark spots that happen, you get the loss of even more life. A lot of the game, you're running around from dark, black whales of sludge that peer out of the ground and try to eat you. You have to deal with the cradling of a baby and it's crying forever and ever. You go on a wild journey where you literally are responsible for putting America back together by connecting stations and reconnecting America through the Postal Service, which I guess is to some degree a noble concept in the sense that you are someone that is a force for good and putting back together a country that kind of fell apart due to these explosions and due to these problems and due to these monstrous things that have appeared. And you do that in a lot of different ways, mostly by carrying gear. You carry gear in your hands, you carry it on your back, you carry it in weird setups, you drive vehicles sometimes you get like a little tiny motorbike, other times you don't. And you just kind of walk in these very large areas. And then sometimes your console crashes while you're playing the game. So that's interesting. Didn't see that coming. Bit of a fun surprise. And yeah, photo mode too, if you want to enjoy that. And you're just like, you're this connection to a world that is lost and a world that's going. And there are more action-packed sequences, I guess, to a degree. And there are scenarios where you are, I guess you would say almost making choices in how you interact with people that exist around you. Oh, you have got to be kidding me with the checkpoint on that? Are you serious? And the game, again, being a walking sim, is a game where you make choices in how you tackle the terrain. So you could see that the terrain is your challenge. What you can walk up, what you can't walk up, the injury you'll have running around. The faster you move, the more dangerous it is for your character. And you'll fall and you'll tumble and you'll constantly be losing supplies and have to regather them and re-put them up. Then you gotta deal with the rain. The rain is the essence of time going by. If you stand out in the rain, you will basically decay at a faster rate. And then you get rankings based on how fast you go to deliver things. And if the cargo is more damaged, people don't like that. They complain about it and you get stats. All of Kojima's friends get shoved into the game too because, you know, Kojima's always got his buddies available and stuff like that. So, again, like, this is a game that is tedious, extensive. It's a game that feels as though it never ends. And if you're into this game, you get a really great time. If you're not into this concept, it will drive you crazy and mad. But I do understand that people really like this sort of thing. I get that people are really into what Death Stranding has to offer. I appreciate the crazy trippiness that Kojima has put together for this game. I understand that there is the obsession for this type of title. And I know that a sequel is coming along the way. And I haven't necessarily been looking forward to it, but it is something that I will tackle because it is my job. At least, you know, when you play it and that kind of a crash thing happens, make sure you are, well, saving often, I guess. When you are playing this, it is something that you can kind of tackle in different ways. And the idea is you go back and forth to different places, and you choose how you tackle those scenarios, how you move through the environment, and how things change. And the game itself changes a lot too. This is very much an easygoing kind of open area, but it doesn't show the full scale of the game. in the sense that you don't get to see and appreciate the element of the social elements. So when you go and you play this game and you see the social elements of it, it's such a fun surprise because it really does genuinely change the world and how you interact with it. Seriously, it's amazing. I kind of want to keep that as a surprise for you because it really is that cool. If you are into this game and you love it, you will be able to go on quite a ride, literally, because it just opens things up in ways that are exciting. And when you are playing with those social elements and you see my frustrations, please do imagine those roads that you get to drive on and get to places really quickly as not existing, and me just walking across the countryside for hours trying to figure out where I'm going. Okay. Just in case anything happens, just gonna put a bit of a save here. Kind of funny that it crashed on me last time, that's how it goes. But yeah, it is kind of great to finally get this available on Xbox. Because it legitimately was something I never thought we would see on this platform. And it is amazing that it actually exists. Seriously, it's a very fortunate, fun surprise for Xbox players. Especially those that maybe have never tried this, or were never able to, you know, play on PlayStation or on PC or anything like that. Or I think this is on the phone too. And I think it marks another step to kind of almost a bit of a decay of like exclusivity on things. It's really, really interesting, and I think it's kind of great that we are able to enjoy this here, the Bridges project. And I think you will, as I said, if you're into this type of game, you're into walking along the puzzle of the ground, the rocks, the climbing, putting together and down ladders, talking to others, you know, this will be something you'll probably quite like. But if you do find the concept to be a little boring of you just walking around for endless hours upon hours upon hours, I don't necessarily think this game will be for you. Like, there is action, there is intense cutscenes, there's gloominess, there are weird, seriously weird flashbacks and weird side moments and crazy things that happen and wild turns. It's quite miraculous, but I think you will be, at least from a technical perspective, blown away by the visuals and the aesthetics of this game. I could complain about narrative and weird things and, you know, the setup of this game all I want, how tedious it could be, and how much Hideo Kojima plasters his name across every single inch of this. But I will always applaud the technical developments of it, and for a game that is actually quite a few years old now and has a sequel, like, coming really soon, this is a genuinely impressive game. Like, it is gorgeous here on the Series X. I think this looks fantastic. Like, it really is quite amazing.
Igor, Bridges corpse disposal.
Corpse disposal. Yeah, we got a bit of a project here. We're just gonna skip this because I think it's gonna get a little bit more crazy in a sec. Yeah, this is when things really start kicking off and show you the dangers of the world gone. There's a reason things kind of fell apart, and it's because of the darkness and the twists of a world. Like, just imagine, you know, you're living your life, things are totally fine, and then essentially, you know, the darkness happens, you lose everything, you can't travel like you used to, you can't have cities like you used to, you have to be careful of people when they die, you have to be careful of darkness lurking around as shadows and these otherworldly things, a connection between worlds coming together. It's gruesome, it's dark, it's terrifying. And, yeah, it's quite a ride. I just remember walking across snowy areas, mountaintops. I remember walking across large open plains. I remember walking across other areas. I just remember endless bouts of walking and walking and walking some more. And occasionally I get to drive something. But a lot of it was endless walking. So you should be very fortunate if you play this now, how much more connected it is, but that's Death Stranding for you.